Hi, I'm Ben from Memberium, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to allow your members to self-cancel through your site. The first thing that we need to do to understand how this works is to talk about cancellation tags. If you go to Memberium Memberships, and you go to the membership in which you're wanting to configure this for, you can press Edit on that membership level, and in here you will see three tags that are red: Payment Failure, Cancellation, and Suspension tags. Now, if you've been following through all of our tutorial videos here, you will already have these set up because we checked the box from Memberium to automatically create these for us. All three of these tags work the exact same way, and I've touched on them briefly in the past. Today we're going to be focused on this cancellation tag here, and essentially what this does is when a member has both the gold tag and one of these three tags, in this specific example we'll talk about the cancellation tag, what will happen is they will not have access to the membership. Let me show you a quick example. Okay, so I'm over here in WordPress and I'm on one of my test user accounts. I've scrolled down into the Memberium data section and you can see that my user has two memberships. They're the gold member and a student member. Now the gold member is coming from this tag right here, which we've already set up, tag 122 gold. Now if I come down here and I go down to the gold membership cancellation right here, 126, if I go ahead and apply this to the user, we'll see that this gold membership actually goes away. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, and as you can see, they have the gold cancellation tag along with the membership tag, and their membership's actually been revoked. So what this means for us is that when we're canceling a user, we want to make sure that this tag gets applied. Or if a member is self-canceling through our site, through Memberium, we want to have this cancellation tag be applied to their record so they actually lose access. Now that we've covered what the cancellation tag does, we're going to go ahead and go over into Infusionsoft. We will come up here to the CRM and we'll click Settings. And what we're going to do is create an action set. So we'll go to Action Sets. We'll do Add Action Set. Now we're going to create an action set that is going to be used when gold members are being canceled, either manually, so we'll run this on them manually, or Memberium, if they try to self-cancel, we'll have this run automatically. So in this case, I'm just going to title this Gold Cancellation Memberium. And for the actions, we're going to apply and remove a tag, and we're going to make that right here our gold cancellation tag. Now, you can also add other actions in here. For example, if you wanted to send an email, maybe giving them a special offer or saying, I'm sorry to see you go, something along those lines, you're welcome to add any actions in here. However, this is really all that we need at the very core of it. So, as far as Memberium is concerned, all that we need is simply to apply this tag. So with that being created, we'll press Save right here. Now, we'll head back over into Memberium, and we're going to come up here to the Support tab. We're going to come up to the Dashboard tab. And then we're going to press this button right here, Synchronize Infusionsoft. And just to clarify why we're doing this, if you see right here synced action sets, I have 391. After pressing this, that's going to go up to 392. Okay, so now that we have 392 action sets, that means the action set is ready for us to use. What we can do is, I want to move on to showing you something on the front end of the site that your end users will see, and then I'll explain how that's set up in the back end. So I'm over here logged into the site as one of my test users who has the gold subscription. They have the gold membership, and as you can see here, they have the option to cancel. Now, you don't have to offer this option to your members. However, it is available, and it's built into the template on this page, which is included with the Memberium templates. Right now, what the cancel button will do with nothing being set up is actually cancel the subscription. However, they will still have access to the site. They'll still have access to the protected content because the membership isn't being removed. So we need to tell Memberium to run that action set on the user when they press this button. Let me show you where that's set up in the back end. So in the back end, we'll go to Memberium and then the e-commerce right here. Then we'll go to the subscriptions tab. Now, this may look complicated at first. However, it's really quite simple in that you just simply need to find your subscription. So mine's right here, gold, and then it's the $1,500 a year subscription. If you have different price points, you can just do the same settings for each price point. There's really two things that are going to affect us here. That is the cancel action, that is this column right here, and then the end date action. The difference between the cancel and the end date actions is when they run. The cancel actions will run immediately when the user presses that cancel button. This means that, for example, this is a yearly subscription. If they cancel 5 days in, they are going to immediately lose access to the content which they've already paid for. This all depends on how your site works and how your site functions, but for most people, you don't necessarily want to remove their access immediately when they press the button. You typically want to give them access until the end of their billing period, in which case you'll use the end date action. The end date action is going to run 1 day before their next would-be billing date. In other words, they would continue to have access until they would be billed again, at which point their access is going to be cut off. So in our case, that's what we want to do. We'll go to the end date action and we'll find the action set we just created. Okay, so gold cancellation Membarium. Once we select that here, we will update it. And now what we can do is, as a test user here, we can go ahead and cancel the subscription. I'm going to show you what it does in Infusionsoft. So before we fully cancel that as the end user in Infusionsoft here, I just want you to see the status is currently set to active. The start date is 4/13, there's no end date, and there's no reason stopped. So now what we'll do is we'll come back over to the membership site and we'll cancel the subscription. Once the subscription has been canceled, I have it configured where it will only actually show active subscriptions. So we're seeing a message here that's saying that there are no active subscriptions on my account. That's because the subscription is actually canceled. So if we come back over to Infusionsoft, we can see that the status is set to inactive. The end date is 1 day before my next billing date, as you can see. So that would be, my next billing date would be 4/13/2020, and it's 4/12. And it also says your subscription has been canceled, and that's just a message that Membarium puts there. Now, just a few last things. I do want to show you what happens when a user tries to log in after their membership has been canceled. So once the end date actions have been applied, or if you're applying the cancellation tag immediately, what's going to happen is when they log in, ideally they should be taken to your cancellation page or something saying that your membership has been canceled and to restore access. Now, where's this set up? Let me remind you. Over here in WordPress, you're going to go to Membarium and then Memberships, and then you're going to go to the membership in which you're wanting to create. And as you remember, I might have briefly mentioned this in the previous tutorial videos, but we can set a special homepage for users that have the cancellation tag. And so in this case, I have set that to the page in which you just saw earlier. Now, in this video, I am using all of our Membarium page templates. If you're not using our page templates, I have linked below the shortcode which you need to use to actually provide that cancellation functionality. That is the page that shows their subscriptions, where they can press the cancel button and so forth. That's going to be linked below this video. And of course, you can also use this to manually cancel users as well. So if you need to manually cancel somebody, you need to go find their subscription and then simply set it to inactive. Once it's inactive, you can set the auto charge to no. Then you can set the end date to the day in which you want to cancel it. That could be in the future, that could be now. And then, of course, your reason stopped. Go ahead and give a description. That way, if you look back on this, you can understand why you canceled it. So now that takes care of the billing side of the cancellation, and then of course you just simply come and apply your cancellation tag manually to the user, and then they're fully canceled. You can also set up an action set to do this, but I won't cover that in this video. So with that being said, you should now be able to set this up on your site using our template and the action set which you'll create, and this way you can allow your members to self-cancel their subscriptions. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to our support team, and I'll see you in the next video.